7. But we'll see how the bans go first to see if there will be anything that will affect either of their strategies, potentially. Imagine the Valkyrie will get banned at some point, but we're not there just yet. Blackbeard, a pretty common ban for this map so far. Definitely one you don't want to be dealing with, although, yes, the one time it was played, Consulate, so I'm sorry, just the first time it was played, Blackbeard was banned. Maverick was also banned, so no surprises there in that sense. But that was the Secret versus Chaos match, so both those operators not desirable for either of these teams to be having on here. Now the defensive bans is where it gets a little more interesting potentially. And there's the Echo, and I got to imagine
Valkyrie.
But
Consulate.
some teams will just take Mira off instead for whatever reason.
I wouldn't ban Mira if this. If you play Consulate, just
it certainly happens, especially if a team has a certain strategy you don't want to deal with.
It's worth it. Yeah. I think we agree on that, right?
Yeah, I think most of the time it's generally not.
I would have just walked out if you didn't.
So I don't agree. No.
Oh.
We'll see. It's taking a while. And there's the
Valkyrie.
There we go. That makes the most sense.
It's almost as if we know what we're talking about.
Almost. Maybe next week.
Well, tomorrow.
No,
we won't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Skixen and Taro. We actually haven't seen them in I haven't seen them in 2 weeks.
Nope.
This is what Super Weeks do. You can't really hang out with all your friends together.
No days off for good behavior. Archives tell us
we have to have good
with.
behavior first.
That's true. There is a criteria.
There you go.
So, Archives Tellers to start things off. Should be interesting. We'll see if that actually catches them off guard or not. Crane going to be bringing that buck. We'll see how he does on that. Uno actually going to sneak into the Pulse.
Ooh. I mean, if you're playing Archives Tellers, then Pulse makes a lot of sense, right? Because you can
Absolutely.
just play them in the servers.
Assuming you can survive that, there are definitely teams that will aggressively attack down there and see if they can kind of flush him out. If so, then it makes it a lot easier for the top people to get their attack off or even just plant down there. You can take advantage of the fact that more often than not, they're not going to have a ton of people defending that. More often, they're going to be spread out across the map. So, there's I believe it was G2 the first time they attacked this bomb site when it was fresh as a new bomb site. They just straight up went for a rush downstairs, slaughtered everyone planted. So it's doable, and it just comes down to that rush that was or the hatch that was reinforced for the dark hallway just getting opened right up and then dropping down.
Now here's the thing, Market in Season 8, and we can still talk about Season 8 in a relevant fashion, especially the second half of it, just because the metagame is still the same with the same operators, etc. With a few changes here and there, but they're not really enough to shift the meta so far. But the thing is, Market still played the second to last play against Secret on this map, and LeStream, at least the old lineup, played against Chaos on it, and they were both very efficient at taking this site specifically and even defending it. So don't put anything too far away from them. Cryan just drops in. Was the hatch not reinforced?
Yeah, they didn't reinforce that one.
Why?
It obviously an oversight. They had other reinforcements they wanted to do, and the team just getting slaughtered. Plant already down.
What?
This is the strategy I was talking about, basically.
Why do you not reinforce the hatch?
Well, at least Ace is finding one, but now he's got an ace to live up to his namesake.
Oh!
He's starting off good, though. Starting off good.
Oh, man. Rips will go down, and you see KS here downed on the floor in the back. Though this is all going to be watched from, no, the Capitao is dead above, right?
Looks like
he's down above.
He's getting picked up. Oh,
getting picked up in the meantime. He'll find 2 kills. Aces with 1 more. He might have just enough time for this, but he's unsure of the last position. The third meta fail might be enough to win it, and yes! The ace denied, but it still wouldn't have been enough time to take out the diffuser, even with the 3-speed. And there you go, just enough time to delay it.
Gotta admit, I would have loved to see that ace happen, even if he would have still lost the round.
Oh.
It's like the non-impact ace. It's one of those feels bad moments.
No, yes.
Hey,
I killed everybody, but we lose anyways.
Oh, the sad face.
Can we go back to this? Why in tarnation was that hatch left soft?
To demonstrate for the audience why you don't do that.
Here's how not to do this.
And I imagine that wasn't necessarily their plan. Mission successful. Their initial plan, but they saw that.
Mission accomplished.
They saw it was soft. They saw Pulse was down there, and they're just like, all right, let's just do this. I'm sure that was an IGL call right there. Either way, though, great round by Maka, but I mean, surprisingly, they did almost lose it after like getting the plant down in the first minute and still almost lost the round. So that is definitely what happened there. Lobby still going to be a big part of it here. Just the bomb site's kind of shuffling around a little, as one will still be on that middle floor, but the other one coming on up. We'll see if they can defend the top floor successfully this time, as most likely the attack will have to focus on that. They cannot just rush in this time. Although I suppose if they really want to try to, they could go for a smoke plant in there, but that is a huge gamble.
10 seconds left before insertion.
The extra impact grenades here, so there's you know, Uno with 2 of them already been used, and you still have the Legion as well, aces.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I'm very intrigued in seeing how LeStream play things out, as we haven't really had enough time for the new lineup to really settle in and for us to understand how it's going to run, like how Uno will actually fit on the team. How will Alfama play, even though he has Pro League experience? Same for Uno. These are not just random players that got picked up. These are people that know what they're doing and crying.
Oh,
find it. Oh.
Ace is too greedy.
What are you doing? That's the Legion, man. Like, what?
He doesn't even have an ACOG.
But yes.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why he lost that fight. He couldn't peek as effectively in the end.
And then he lost now the Gumans. This is a really big loss early on.
LeStream just seeming to need some time to warm up here.
Yeah,
I mean, Aces seemed pretty warmed up once things got cracking last time, but now that he's the first one off the board, he's certainly not going to get an ace clutch this round. And there goes Corey, though. So the entry fragger, and this is something he's had Ash banned against him as well in the past. So
one would say, so far, Aces looks hot and cold. Well, in the meantime, Rise will hold on to the service stairs. There's one player above in the window holding him off, and of course the Buck that will try to find him, but Rise might just be better in this situation. He'll fire in, he'll find one, but not the second. But at least he does so much damage to Cryan and finishes off KS. Great play here with the shield right in front. He was basically set to die in this position and provide Alfama with as much protection as possible. Now the Buck's not going to fire into the bulletproof camera because actually the piece of metal that extends on the side is a bit, the headbox is a bit bigger than what you see, so you really need to find a closer to 70-degree angle to fire a bullet into it and destroy it. It's just one of those quirks in the engine.
Something you gotta learn through experience more.
100%.
Well, it is a 3v3, but Cryan so low in health. They had time for a reset, but hey, looks like he's not needing it so far as he turns that now into a 3v2. But some strong operators left.
3 remote gas nades.
Yep.
Available for Hicks. He sprays in. He can't find anyone with the SMG-11. That was basically just a spray. Now, remote gas nade will get used. 34 seconds left on the clock. Grenade thrown in the back, but both Uno and Hicks will remain safe. And you see where Uno is set. He's by the spiral staircase, and just because there's a player on the outside here, Rips, if you're on the defense, you want to deny that diffuser plant. If it does get planted, you are in such a tight spot. Now, use these last few seconds to your advantage, and Uno peeks. He shoots and he scores. Vale is down on the floor. Rips is the man with the diffuser and is being delayed even further. Damage done to the IQ, who'll rush on in. One remote gas nade left, and no time. No, he's going to try to plant right in front of it. Hicks will get one, and no time left as Hicks will find the second. Coordination on point here for LeStream, and Hicks just find. Oh man, that is a beautiful threading of the needle, as they would say.
I mean, I like the way he was playing. Even that rotation hole through that soft wall back into piano. He was definitely playing it in a very interesting way of having the window prepped as well. He smacked it open, rotated back. Like, just the way he was playing, kind of aggressive delay. You know, he wasn't actually peeking out in situations where get him killed, but he would continue to put pressure on them to not feel safe coming in. So you had the Thermite kind of coming around from the other side, and just good coverage. It was really kind of a pinch. I mean, more of a sort of an L flank, but it absolutely worked and just delayed them continuously. But now they've got to go to another bomb site, so they're going to go to Garage. And they are going to try that typical mirror strat, I imagine, but might even see one on the garage door, which occasionally does happen as a thing. Never see it do a whole lot of good, but something people try.
Yeah, now the question, will Rise and Hicks be playing together on the top floor? This will, of course, force Mocket to try and clear the top floor, and we've seen how inefficient. I mean, even if they clear it, it just takes too long to help them out in the play on the bottom floor, even if it was on the lobby. Now it's even more difficult, but the redeeming factor is, well, you're also bringing the bug, so, you know, standard lineup from Mocket on this map. You can basically run these operators all the time. It's just I am not a fan of the thermite when you're attacking upstairs, and 5 seconds left on the clock. 3 drones will get destroyed, as kind of want to keep tabs on those drones. We always mention the drone economy, which means right now there's only 7 drones available for Mocket on here, and they have to clear roams on top floor at the same time.
Yeah, and of course one of those operators is going to be invisible to drones part of the time, so it makes it even more difficult, especially if he gets to be able to shoot most of those drones and then just rotate invisibly to other drones. Can definitely be a huge problem to deal with. They're going to go for the old upside down repel attack here, something I remember K9 doing back in year 1 even. On his bomb site, and there we go, nice. 2 kills from the attackers. Well, there is that roamer potentially of Rise down to putt. Nice trade back by Uno.
The Uno Meister.
Wow, they're already getting garage open though, so I suppose that was worth it.
Not wasting any time here. As you say, Vale opening up the side of the garage door. So Mocket do have the advantage, and with really minimal losses. Yeah, sure, you lost the Ash, but you cleared out a Jaeger, you cleared out the Vigil, the 2 players that were roaming around on the map, and it's going to make it technically easier for you to just walk into a site, especially not having to worry about any goo mines, since you have the IQ, you still have the bucks, you still have grenades, and more importantly, you have the Capitao. And that mirror window is going to be rendered useless. What is, again, the, crying grenade onto Uno, finishes off the bandit. And now, again, Twitch chat, let's have this conversation. What is the biggest weakness of a mirror window? You have 2 seconds to reply. Too slow, it smokes. She can't see anything through them afterwards.
Yeah, and the Capitao is still alive. So that is going to be a problem as you hear the smokes going off there. So you see the rotation of Alpha Element to try and go for a C4 throw. And it succeeds.
It hits it, and Vale's going down, but look at the amount of time left here for Mocket to engage. Unfortunately, KS goes all on his own, so he's got to be careful. Alpha will finish it and turns it with 2v2. Explode will find one more, and this round suddenly turns the way of LeStream. They had everything in their hands, including the time, but Rips will find one. Can he clutch it? The 1v1 fight now. Alpha Male low on health, and the Mira close up. As wise from Rips, actually, to try to find the foot of the Mira, but they know the advantage is in their hands, and the diffuser, it's right in front. Now, the big question is, what would Mira do? She's got a peek, and Alpha Male will clutch it. LeStream win a round they had no business in taking, and that was all Mocket's fault from start to finish. And it started with the Thermite pushing in all on his own, and then what does KS do? The same mistake. You know what the definition of insanity is?
Telling us what the definition of insanity is more than once?
I actually haven't said it. I've only said the sentence so far.
It's true. You didn't finish it.
So there you go.
Got me there.
What is the definition of insanity? This is a hard back to Far Cry 3. It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah. Well, what they're doing over and over again is playing very aggressive for early plants. And that's in itself not a terrible thing, but the thing that you are getting demonstrated to you is that means you don't have enough control to secure those plants. Yeah, you can maybe get them down sometimes, as in the case of that first round, but then there will often be a very heavy backlash against a good portion of your team, which then leaves you in a difficult situation to be able to cover it. There is not enough claymores in the world to be able to stop them from trying to come back for a retake on very early round plants, because you haven't done a lot of droning, you don't necessarily know where everyone's coming from. But I appreciate Mocket trying, because they are getting close. That wasn't the worst round for them. It was just they could not get the plant down, and as soon as they smoked the mirror window, they should have expected a rotate for the C4, because, well, I mean, it's exactly what I said was going to happen, because it was the obvious thing to happen.
On top, they had time, a ton of it, and drones.
They could have gone for one smoke just to bait things out, and then drone to see what the response was, and then gone for the second smoke potentially.
They had time. They just got too active, too crazy, and well, that ended up costing. And not only was it okay, you can be like, okay, well, they lost the Thermite, they'll still have the advantage, etc. Well, then they just rushed in the Capitao, and
Yeah, it was definitely not the best play. I mean, to be fair, though, they did almost win it. It got very close to hitting the mirror because they had drone coverage to ping. But, yeah.
Almost does not get a round on the board.
Nope. Although, tell that to Aces. That's pretty We'll see how they're able to take this. That castle barricade seemingly stumping, crying. He's like, do I use a grenade on this? Is someone going to try and push me through this? I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, that's why he has a drone from the IQ to give him information on that. So
yeah,
pretty smart there.
Interesting that they were going with Archives Tellers a second time, though. Or, yeah, Archives Teller. So, there we go. Setting up to potentially rotate multiple ways here. The castle barricade not really doing much to slow him down now that he has an idea that is safe outside the room.
Loading new mag.
So they're just going to get this top-down control. This time a much different attack.
Oh, Corey missing the shots there in the back. The Alpha Ma will drop here the mirror. And you saw the engagement. The mirror window will finally get popped, but now this is the multi-level play that Mocket had to face against Team Secret. What do? Now you peel off and you can play for the bottom floor with holes that have been pre-opened to defend A.
Oh.
Aces in the meantime loses half his health, but he rips away at rips, so now you can't really find that pulse efficiently, and having a man down just means you don't have potential flank watch, which on this site is a thing you really have to worry about.
Well, I think you can kind of guess where Pulse is going to be at, or at least someone is going to be in the Archives itself down there.
There was no drone that gave information for Chaos to not walk that way into the site. It's a bit of an oddity. You can tell the team play here from Mocket is not really showing, and it's been the bane of their existence for a while now. Now Rise will be given more than enough time to go up the service stairs and be ready for the Capitao, and the Buck dispatches both of them as he rises to the occasion with Aces and Hicks to get the last two. Mocket distraught at the setup from LeStream. Yeah, that was...
Well, that is finally successful Archives. Now they've defended 3 sites successfully. That only leaves Console left for them to try and defend.
Which we'll go to.
Yep. So they've now done the full tour here. I mean, of course, they could go back to lobby. They're not forced to go to Console, but it's like, hey,
it's just a show. Hey, let's get an extra one.
Let's keep it interesting. So far, it's been definitely a mixed bag for LeStream, but most of the ends of the rounds are really able to scare that out. But that was a much more dominant round, I have to say. Their defense absolutely collapsing on the attackers once they started getting those initial kills. But the smoke, pump shotgun, double play. This is starting to be a theme today. Is that shotgun, if you have some idea where people are playing it, they're making enough noise, you come whipping around the corner. You don't have to be all that accurate because the amount of damage done, if you just point in their general direction and you're close, very devastating. And that is why it was such a big deal to give Mute the SMG-11, because you now give him the option to be able to run a shotgun as well. So you end up with potentially situations with 2 of those shotguns on board, as well as 2 SMG-11s. It gets pretty brutal. Uno, though, going to be bringing the ACOG of the Dock this time, and Alfama bringing them the Maestro. So the first, I think that's the first Maestro they're bringing.
Yeah.
In fact, they could have been bringing it out of the rounds. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I...
No, they brought him before.
On the first round?
First round.
Yeah, that was just thinking. I was like, I don't remember most people in the first round because they all died rather quickly.
And then he got shut down by the Buck, actually, even though the Buck was low on health. Anyways, Uno will... Please don't. Uno, you're playing too many ranked games.
Well, last time it was Aces that made the peak, so they're just taking turns.
Yeah, the 2 big fraggers on the squad. At least, you know, technically, because right now it's Rise and Hicks that are in control.
Well, this definitely used to be the spawn peak heaven map. Just ask a former member of this team, going far back to 6 Clutcher.
Oh, man. Don't remind me. We're going to see him at 6th Invitation. I don't know what to feel about that. Oh, the Capitao narrowly escaping the fire of Rise. By the way, Benjamin, we missed you. Soon TM. So, Salty Academy. Rise gonna look on down as more flashbangs are being thrown in the face of the Jaeger here. I didn't catch. Yeah, still has 1 ADS, so he's playing the juggle. And that, oh
Too
no!
late, too late. You're setting it down still as the grenade's already in the air. But nice trade back from Aces.
Make that 2. And that's the only hard breach when you're attacking on this site. And your only hard breach is already a thermite, which is super ineffective. Uno with one more, just playing inside the console chamber. Corey shot down. KS and Rips still alive. But there's Aces playing on Legion, which means goo mines, just something you have to worry about, which is going to really slow you down. And look at that diffuser. It's like you're gifting it to LeStream. You can have it. We don't even need it. We're not planning on using it.
Yeah, we're just going to try and kill you all.
At this point, it is the strategy.
I like the long angle he's able to kind of work, but unfortunately no one's giving him anything, and all the other walls being reinforced means he's just going to have to take his loss and move on. I mean, at this point, you need to get up yellow stairs. You need yellow stairs control, or you cannot get that diffuser back, and it's not an easy access point there. They could even have to use a smoke to get it.
Or maybe, here's a crazy thought, just go meeting and don't bring a thermite. Yeah. I know, it's like, well, maybe we're going to attack into them when they're downstairs in garage, but do you really want to face a smoke on yellow stairs? How many times have we seen that?
I know, and it generally works.
Well, we'll see what happens here. There's still one gas canister, 35 seconds on the clock. KS is going to try to smoke out his opponents. His damage done by the teammate, and that's 2 easy kills for Hicks. We'll see it once. Well, we said it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, like infinitesimal times. As, yeah, that just don't do this.
We're just seeing so often the smoke getting like 2 at a time.
We saw 4 at a time today.
it's
Hungry with the what I want to. How about we have like the play of the night? You know, yeah. I know they have like the top 5 plays of this Pro League week, right? X, Y, and Z. I don't know if we're still doing that for Super Beer, but yeah, that Hungry 4K on Tower was right up there.
Yeah. Well, there's still plenty of time to top it, as this is. I mean, it's the last match of the day, but still would take 3 more rounds before LeStream could claim victory.
Yeah, at least this is the last round of this half, round number 6. Remind you of the changes, because I know, you know, each time there's people that are newly coming in, and, you know, sometimes you're not 100% sure of some of the changes. Well, we used to have a 5-round half where each team plays on a specific side and then switches around at the half point. Now it's 6, and you still need 7 rounds in total on the board to get the victory, which means those 2 rounds have made it so you don't really have to deal with as many ties as we had in Season 8, which was a bit too many.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot better, but G2 disagrees.
Yeah. I mean, last time as well, we had like 2 ties in one play.
Yeah.
We had 1 tie. We've had like 5 ties so far.
Actually, according to my calculations, this should be a tie as well, because we had NA with 2 ties, we had Latin with 2 ties, so EU needs to either get a second tie today or tomorrow. It's the rule. It's the rule now. But Uno trying to make sure that Hard Breacher denied.
That's your only one. Oh man, this changes everything. Now Mocket are forced to come in.
You might as well just leave the camera right there at this point.
Yeah, because it's all going to happen here.
Like, yeah, this is a tough spot to be. And I doubt they're going to necessarily overpeak this, but if they just even take pot shots at the diffuser, like that is enough to slow them down. However, they are able to recover it. Corey taking advantage of his 3-speed nature to snatch that right back up, but that is definitely time burned. Pressure. He's going to have a hard time pushing this. They pretty much have to push either from yellow stairs, very dangerous, or push from the backside of cafeteria. Also dangerous, but doable to an extent. Or preferably both would be the only way to really guarantee that you have some sort of chance here. It looks like they're going to open the hatch at least to be able to come from the backside of cafeteria. 2 drones down here first, but there is someone playing in Archives who's about to get caught. Hicks is spotted, but Rips decides, you know what, I don't even want Cryan on the team anymore, and then swiftly dies himself. So, Mocket really sick of playing attack, making sure it's a much shorter round. Thank you for that.
Well, they'll at least find one and actually put Aces pretty low on health here on the Jaeger. Corey and KS trying to play as best as they can, but this is very much an uphill battle. They'll check the Archives downstairs with the servers, and Rise will play the FO12. We've seen that before, and you know, Aces still has literally the best play with the FO12, but it'll be Hicks dispatched in this fight, so no more goo mines.
Except for that one. Right as you say it.
Well, where's the FO12? You can still see the Ella right above here, so
just
Rise
ready to pounce.
He can dive in whenever he pleases. KS, the instant he drops into it, fires in, and there you go. That's 1 kill. 4 shots still in the FO12. The RG15 will come out, but Corey will fall back for just a second. He's the last man alive in a 1v3. C4, one available here for Alpha Ma. And LeStream will have to just sit back and relax. You see the mirror on the side, peeks it very quickly. And even using the shotgun, Alpha Ma will secure the 6th round, well, the 5th round on the board. Or round number 6 here for LeStream. One more.
So far, the only attack they've been able to win was that rush onto the archives at the very beginning. And even then, that was actually close to being lost.
Yeah, that was almost an ace comeback.
Yeah.
And it was all because they had to reinforce that hatch in Visa.
Yep.
So it's their fault.
Yeah. We'll see how they do on defense, though. Mocket, though, probably a little bit demoralized by how things have gone so far. Need to kind of reset themselves mentally and go, it's fine, we're on defense now. Defense is a good side to be on most maps. We can make this happen. It's worked out for LeStream. We can do it too. But LeStream says, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pretend I'm bringing double hard breachers, I guess, but switch off and bring a little sneak attack, but still bring in the Thatcher just in case it's Garage. So they will be prepared for that, but it will not be Garage. Still going to get some potential use out of that because you can use it to help clear the ADSs. Corey taking some huge initial damage along with Vale.
Oh,
if they weren't tilted already after
what are you
the team
doing?
Kill, now the team damage. This is
What are you doing?
falling apart in front of our very eyes.
What are you doing? Just
This is such an old strategy too. The castle, that door, and then open the hole next to it. It's funny. The one that's reinforced right there also used to get occasionally opened.
oh man, this is just, and this is the problem. Mocket, knowing KS personally, it's very easy to tilt Mr. Kleinerman. So
Mission accomplished, as they said earlier in the round.
yeah, and as our fellow Germans would say, das gefällt mir nicht, which is I don't like this. Exactly what Mr. KS would be saying in this situation.
Plus side, they brought a dock, so
That's exactly why they brought the duck.
all's well that ends well. I guess Vale's still a little bit worse for wear, but not too bad. Seeming like Alfema's having some trouble with the vault he's trying to accomplish. And Aces says, I'll show you how to do it. Just follow me. So nicely done. That is that umbrella trying to do some work as well that they added a little while ago in the console revamp that added that 4th bomb site. So they're going to stack up at these yellow stairs. Not always a great idea, but we'll see how they are able to approach this. But this is where Thatcher could be, I was going to say it'd be useful. Phone call coming out to try and do things, but they can try and take out some of the ADSs with Thatcher's EMPs.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
So far, just crying, watching here. We saw the amount of work that a shotgun can do in this position, but Mocket opt away from both a mute and a smoke, both pretty high metagame players. Now, the problem with barricading this site here is that, well, they can just come in and plant without really needing to worry about you, right? So now with any utility set from LeStream, they can allow Uno to just rush up the stairs and win the fight. But he's just going to fall back and clear things out. KS will find the kill on Hicks. Corey will spray in, and Uno will go down. Still one on the side as Alpha Ma will find one. The Buck trying to fire in with the skeleton key, and that was the wrong one. Chief, kill for Corey. Even with the initial damage, it seems like, yeah, bringing the Duck, pretty sound idea.
Well, hopefully he's still got at least one stim pistol left to bring him back up, but I'm guessing maybe doesn't. There was a significant amount of damage done at the very beginning. Unfortunately, that damage, some of that was onto the castle who got healed up and unfortunately is now dead, so a little bit of a spent investment, but a nice series of plays, especially by Corey with the 2 kills. It's really going to set this back. They don't have a lot here, but they don't have a smoke or anything to necessarily directly deny this, but Rips has got a gun with Ace's face on it.
It's like a lasagna on top,
Ooh,
and Corey
again.
is going to get eliminated. Now, I actually have statistics for this.
Ooh,
For once.
raw numbers.
Raw numbers. Well, we'll see how these are going to be interpreted. As you mentioned, or I mentioned, or anybody, really someone mentioned, the fact that there's been a lot of ties, right, in Season 8. Now, I have the numbers for the amount of ties that have happened in every single region. So, Korea has had the lowest amount of ties in Season 8 with only 1. That's in APAC, of course. Japan had 6. Southeast Asia has had 8. And Australia and New Zealand has had 9. So that's APAC. APAC in total has had 24 ties in total. That's all of APAC and 4 sub-regions.
That was for last season, though, right?
Yes, Season 8. Because they started their play days like today was play day number 2. However, on Latin America, it was 12. NA had 13. And EU, unsurprisingly, had 15 ties in total.
She's NA 13. That's almost 1 per play day.
Yeah, and EU had 15.
Yeah. So far, we're off to a better start.
Yeah. So, 24 in total for APAC. You put in the extra 25 from NA and LATAM. I'm doing math on stream. 49. You put an extra one that's 50 and 64 ties in total. Those were the ties that we had in Season 8. So far in Season 9, we might be looking at a second one here for EU today. That'll just add to the total.
Well, it definitely depends on whether or not Mocket can play as much defense successfully as we saw from LeStream, who seemed a little bit better on top of things. I mean, though Mocket, despite the rough start last round, still managed to come back. Maybe that will help them kind of reset their mentality. Like, see, we can even shoot each other at the beginning of the round. Well, I think it was an impact nade, but and still win the round. So, well, still not the worst start. A lot of that was due to Corey's great 3K. And Uno, early kill. Ace has followed up. That's on the Corey.
They're going to go for the rush. That's it. KS will get 1, but Uno swiftly dispatching him on the entry. Rips from the side. Uno with yet another on a Veil, and all up to Rips. As he fires in, and Uno again with another one. My God, LSE, what are you doing to Mocket?
That was a much more aggressive rush even than we saw from Mocket on Garage. That was brutal. I almost couldn't watch that. I started feeling a little squeamish. It was just a slaughter.
I did see you close your eyes.
I couldn't take it anymore. That was a very swift attack. That was a lot of that was on Uno, just coming in with that Ash Rush, just slaughtering them. They're gonna try Garage again for what could be their last round. Can't imagine it's gonna be the same rush attack coming out from the stream, but hey, you never know. They could even do the same thing, but from the backside, and it still wouldn't be as expected. Now they keep going the 6th pick from the Hibana over to the Dokkaebi. Will Hicks do that again? And continue? No, he's locking it in. So he's just faking it out so they don't know when it's real. In this case, they are going to have double hard breachers now, so that will help. In case Alfama gets down to early, will be a big help Reno. In case, and also in case that doesn't happen to be the bomb site. They could have extra. But they also have the Thatcher, so they could open this up pretty swiftly. It also helps that Mocket are not bringing anything to deny the Garage from being opened instantly. So, 2 hard breachers, a Thatcher, and no Bandit or Mute.
Yeah.
The irony. It's like LeStream are like overcompensating for opening the Garage at this point. But we'll see how those operators end up playing regardless. They could definitely do some other work. They could also be used to help, for example, clear that mirror window that's on the bathroom right there. Open that up. Provide some more angles, make it very difficult to fight that. So definitely some utility usage that could be coming out there. There's also going to be the Maestro that should be helpful if any kind of smoke plant rush attempt comes out to be able to spot at least that attempt. But it looks like they're not going to go for a rush this time as Uno is going upstairs.
Just go upstairs. You know how you have all the utility possible. Try to deal with that pulse early on.
Looks like he's just waiting for his teammates to drone him.
Possible. No. No, he's just going to walk in.
Better than him having the drone for himself, which is
player right next to him. And
maybe
you should have droned yours.
Yeah, maybe have a talk with Hicks.
Oh, now Hicks comes in.
Hey, I see you now. Too little, too late.
There's a guy in.
Yeah, it's one of those moments.
So many times.
Yeah. Well, that is the entry fragger down, who was a big player last round. So this round should go a bit slower, and possibly more so in the favor of Mocket, who didn't take any damage in that process. But Hicks is going to take 2, do a bit of damage, but still suffer the same fate as Uno. Rise going for take 3, manages to finally down someone from the other side. But this is still going a bit more the way of Mocket as they have only lost 1 player.
Finally.
And there's about 1.5 lost from the stream.
No dock this time, right?
Nope.
Specialists can't have it on the...
You kind of can with Finka in a way, which I think is, kind of the idea behind it. But Corey cleaning up some more here. This is looking like Mocket on the comeback a little bit. Last round, maybe a bit more of a fluke.
It definitely does have to do with the timing. I wouldn't really call it a fluke, but still, like the ability to drone up your opponents and just being able to rush them.
Yeah. I like that both teams are trying it. So we have
Yeah.
different demonstrations. But
I mean, we don't really see too many rushes. Rips will go in.
Good use of pulse.
Yeah.
All on Rise here.
Should be able to spot him. No, he's just focused so much on the top floor. But that'll give things away for Rise as the camera will relay information for the 4 remaining Maka players. The Buck's on his own. He's just gonna, well, do his best on Locker Hallway.
55 seconds to do it, but I'm thinking the Buck stops here.
Tiny bit of damage. Rise just somehow still alive in the back. Look at the Maestro. Veil just looking down, and Rise will go down. Wonderfully done by Market that basically just don't even do anything special. They just... It's a bit of a wonder. This team droned everything. They saw that they had every advantage to just go in through the garage door, and then didn't.
I mean, that's the oddity, is like they were... I mean, they absolutely could have at least started opening things up, but as they started throwing bodies at the top floor, you saw 3 people go up there, and 2 of them die, and the other one, the third one, at half health after that. Just, again, it was that droning. Absolutely the fault of that droning. Just not prepared for that attack. But now it is the top floor, the droning is going to have to be even better for that top floor, since that's where you need to get into an attack. But this is match point here. Mocket sitting very much on the edge of potential defeat.
Men on the Edge. It's a great song. I have so many song references.
You're just the discography.
You know, this is the thing that a lot of people that are still in school or university right now will understand. You can literally just know every single word and lyric to every single, you know, song out there, but you can never sit down and learn like the 3 sentences you need for your exam the next day.
Well, that's just because you're filling your mental hard drive with the wrong things.
Yes.
You need to sing the sentences, obviously. Come on.
Actually, yes, that is a very good technique.
I know, I'm sounding sarcastic, but not meaning sarcasm.
It's like a legitimate strategy. So there you go, M's of the AGL.
Speaking of legitimate strategy, they're using the same castle strat from last time. So it did work. To be fair, they did manage to win that round.
Well, now we'll see how things change or do not. The more things change, the more they say it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Well, you know what the definition of insanity is. Well, trying down early.
Uno yet again just adding more kills on the board. Not sure how many kills he's at right now. I don't know if we can... Yeah, there you go. He's at 10.
Yeah.
That's good.
Doing some work.
That's the Uno you want to see. That's definitely not the one that was present on play day 1, but definitely showed up for the second one. The 7-1 victory over Penta Sports. LeStream looked to put an extra 3 rounds on the board with 1 more round, and of course taking down the Jaeger Leon definitely is what they would that they were really looking for. And you see the mirror, the back here, KS trying to play around the mirror window and the bathroom to take down Rise, but he'll be forced back for just a bit. No, he's just gonna stick the same spot. So he's expecting the Buck to get aggressive. The flash in, and Rise is gonna cook that grenade to bounce into the back. It is gonna land. Rips is ready in the back to fire.
Only a tiny bit of damage done to KS here, so this is again looking like this attack could be stalled.
Oh!
C4, nice.
Oh, that was beautiful. You look at it in the sky and you're like, yikes, I'm dead.
It's over.
Now can they find it? There. Uno clicks the head of Rips and rips it to shred. No damage done to the Ash, who's carrying the diffuser still so far. Very good from LeStream to keep equalizing the numbers, but now, I'm not sure if they should have taken that down, actually.
I think they wanted to be able to pressure people out of there from the angles. So it was a case of like, yeah, they could use it to cover their plant, but they also have the smoke of the cap down from that. So it's just like, we want that angle open so we can smoke it and then be able to fight it later as needed. But Ace is, unfortunately, no time for the reset now. Doesn't need it, I guess.
Corey got taken down. It's 44 seconds, so possibility, but not at this point. Aces will continue to drone in as he is low on health. It might just allow Uno to come on in. Uno sprays into the body of the Buck. His fallen comrade. Is KS still alive? They both dive right on in, and it's all for KS. He's going to try to find him. They're both on the floor scurrying away as KS will land 2 extra kills and fail. Get the last one. Mock it. They might be down, but they're not out just yet, Devin.
So far, Garage being the only site they've lost. Now that they've won Garage and Console, though, do they go Lobby or do they go Archives Tellers and try and do what LeStream did? Probably not, but I'm curious. Very likely to see Lobby. Yep, there it is. For the next in rotation. Now, of course, if they fail to defend it, it's over for them. If they succeed, then they are one round away from a tie and can go back to Garage, which, again, is the one bomb site that they have lost previously. So that puts things definitely in perspective, I imagine, for Mocket. But we might see a similar frustration to what we, I think, seemed to see last matchup from Penta, where they just kind of get stalled out at 6. You know, they sit on that match point, and then the defenders can play against that frustration. And we're seeing this a lot. A lot of defense round wins, putting things close to match point. They win an attack round or so, get on that 6, and it's just they can't close it out because attack requires a different level of coordination, a different kind of coordination than the defense does, and you can't take that time to kind of relax like you can on defense to an extent. On defense, you can kind of take a breath. You know, once you've got your setup done, of course, you got to kind of be, you know, vigilant during that. But after that, you can kind of relax for a second, especially if you're a site player, do some camera rotation, things like that. That will help kind of calm you down to an extent. Whereas the attackers got to be on. I mean, the moment they get a breath is after they set their drones in position during the prep phase, and then after that, it's kind of down to the IGL, start making some calls in terms of this is how we're going to push. This is where some people are. Potentially, if they see anything. Depends on how much they're willing to put the drones in, but it looks like an admin attack from Uno here.
Oh, it makes so much more sense. Bring the Habana forward. You don't really have to deal with Mocket in the yellow stairs. And honestly, I really wish that the yellow stairs push, especially when you're facing against, you know, C4 operators, etc.
Oh, so
die
close,
off.
Rise. You gonna try it again, or no?
No.
Gave up. He put on a little show for us. Try it. This time he didn't run into someone sitting in the break room. That was good.
Yeah, it's all about those small wins.
You saw that weird moment of hesitation where he kind of looked at it. You're like, oh wait, he's traumatized now.
Of course, the defense is downstairs, but the operators are set on the top floor here for the defensive Mocket. So, what are you going to do? You clear the top floor. What are you going to do when they come for you? The bad boys of LeStream, what are they going to do? They're going to take down the castle barricade, these castle walls.
Yeah, they're definitely liking castle on Mocket here, even if it's not the site they're defending. They're definitely putting up a heavy defensive projector, which is, of course, what you should be doing. And the Habana obviously really good for opening up these angles, but there goes Veil, and the projector starts to fall potentially.
Oh no! Stop doing that mirror window! Mocket did it before when they played against KS. He'll find one, but Uno's already been able to take down Corey. Just stop putting the mirror window in that way. You did it before. Why you did it again? Why? It makes absolutely no sense to put it in that way.
Well, unfortunately, they can't win for you to have the interview to tell them.
Unfortunate. Well, Ace is going to make it a bit closer here. KS, the last man alive. I hope he regrets that mirror window.
Well, he's going to be the one to try and make up for it, so.
He is now going to regret it. Like, he can't play in the back.
Yeah. Well, he's going to try for at least one here in just a second. He has actually evacuated.
They're just going to plant an A.
Yeah. He's going to go to open up the floor. And like, it's nice that he had another hole to work with, but those metal bars going to be essentially his jail cell.
Yeah. Alphama just quickly dispatching KS. And LeStream will take yet another victory and put it on the board. That's the second one for them in this season, which means, well, they're able to get 3 points in total. They lost their first game to end 7-2 on the border.
Well, so far they're doing better than G2.
It's actually very true. I can't wait to see the standings at the end, and there you go. Uno, due, tre, cuatro. There you go.
Aces as well. So we talked about before, like, those are the two fraggers that came on the team. They're expected to frag, and guess what? Double digits for both of them today, and guess what? They won. And guess what?
Guess what? Well, it means that LeStream have finally understood that, hey, maybe we should actually be supporting the fraggers on the team. Even though, okay, we'll admit there was a mistake where nobody droned.
They found
Uno
their groove most of the time, but yeah.
But still, that rush on Garage was very impressive, and I can't wait to have a discussion regarding that play, because, yeah, it seems like, how do you say? It seems like LeStream, as you mentioned, find their groove in the match, But Mocket,
Yeah.
you remember we mentioned Game Sense a couple of days ago. Yeah, that's out of the building when it comes to this.
Yeah. Well, I hope LeStream can keep it up, though, and keep supporting those two fraggers and do a good job with all the support players as well to do their thing. But that's not to say there aren't some other good fraggers on the team.
All right, our interview is ready here with the winners of LeStream, so let's go for that. Bonsoir, Valentin. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. How about you?
I'm pretty good. That was a pretty exciting game, I have to say. Now, first of all,
it was.
a question. You guys are playing, all four of you with Krapel, except for Aces, are in Paris right now at the LeStream Gaming House, correct?
Exact.
Okay.
That's exact.
So there you go. That's something to put away for anybody that was asking it. So you guys were kind of in that team form. I understand that Aces will sometimes be coming to the boot camp, but not always present like the majority of the team. That is a few things to talk about. Now, first of all, your rush against LeStream, your rush against Mocket on Garage in round number 8. How was that called, and which information allowed you to go for that sort of play?
Well, at first we called it the first attack round, but unfortunately they were not in basement, so we kind of messed up. That's why we ended up with Doka Thermite instead of Ibana and Thermite.
Yes.
But the main reason we made that push is it's completely unexpected. Like we are not on this map, at least on every VOD, I think we've never done this rush before, so it was completely unexpected from them, I think. And when you extend to basement bathroom when they do, it's really easy just to push in the garage, just watch at the drop hatch and watch the yellow rotation. You have the complete control of the piano with only one guy at the outside, so it's basically really strong, and you just push in and make the kills and plant.
On the reverse side of it, Alphamas clutch on the Mira.
Yeah.
That round should not have been won by you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys understand. Like, no way in hell you should have won that round. How were you giving Alphama information, or was it just him off of game sense and just his experience to win the round?
No, we had the information not on that last guy. The last guy was we had no camera at this moment, but on 2 or 3 guys we have the information on the default cam garage, and that's clearly a mistake from Mokit for getting it. So yeah, that's the main reason.
It wasn't until the last player came in and just looked at the camera, realized, oh crap, it's still up there. That's why we lost 2 people that just rushed in alone.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Now, well, there was a big mistake when you guys played the defense on the very first round, though. We mentioned the fact that one of the 2 hatches in Visa, the one that drives down into the archives directly on the servers, was still left soft.
No, it's on our strat. But the thing is, I think we were a bit shaky at the beginning of the game, and usually we use Pulse as an information controller. In archives, and this time Uno wasn't there. He was trying to do something else, and the next round we had the information on the whole Visa side. But I agree that we kind of messed up, because that's most likely something that should never happen. But on this one, they played it really well. They knew exactly where to push, and they did it really, really good. Because I'm playing in Tellers with the smoke, and I have absolutely zero information where are they going, because Capital uses the 2 smokes. Is even using fire. It's not really, it's not really effective on the whole Visa side, but it's still working, and I have no information at all on the push. So yeah, they just dropped in, and Uno was like, they're already on site, and we're like, okay, no problem. We'll focus next round.
In round 9, though, this is the last question basically. There was no mute nor bandit played by Mocket, and you were attacking Garage. This was right after the rush, where they played it again. Yet you decided to go for an attack on admin and push into servers when you already knew that there was nothing stopping you from using both your Habana and your Thermite to just enter Garage without anybody stopping you.
Did we lose that one?
Yes.
The round we end up like 2 versus 4 from server side, right?
Yes.
Was this yeah? I don't know what happened there. Like we had a bad trade, I think, on the yellow side. I think Alphama dies from a guy who's playing aggressive on the yellow side, and like with this is we don't know really what to do, and we call for a rotate. That's all. But yeah, like, it was 2 versus 4, I think. Anyway, so it was difficult to handle.
Okay. Well, that aside, would you like to say anything at the end of the day in your victory to the LeStream and French viewers that are watching you right now?
Well, thank you again for the amazing support, as always. Thank you very much.
All right. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée. On se verra.
Merci. Bonne soirée. Bye.
Well, I see a little bit of happiness on there. They're excited about being pretty far up there on the standings now, I imagine.
Yeah.
Pretty good for them, as you know, they had, like I said, they had some rough ones, but they've been pretty strong when they're on fire with Uno and Aces. And it's not all on them. I'm just saying when those guys are pulling their weight and the rest of the team's doing their job, like they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. We'll remind you of the scorelines for tonight. Chaos beating ENCE 7-2. 7-3 victory for Empire against Team Secret. A tie between both Penta and G2, which is which, right? And then LeStream beating Market 7-4 in our last game of the night. We'll take a look at the standings and review the points at the end of Playday number 3 for Europe. And surprise, surprise, Chaos and Team Empire at the top with 9 a pop. Chaos with 15 rounds in the differential. And here's the thing. These two teams will play on Playday number 7 on January 31st, which is going to be in a while. G2 in number 4 spot. LeStream above them by 2 extra points.
If Penta had only been able to get one more round, they would have been at 3 instead of 1, but at least they're above Mocket, and that's the important thing to them. It's kind of funny to see the round differential for Chaos plus 15, and then all the way at the bottom, minus 15.
We'll remind you that the division between Empire and Chaos right now is just we're going off of round differential, but when they play against one another, even if they're still tied with points, and even if they tie in total, it's just, you know, the amount of rounds that are, you know, differentiate between the two, even if they're tied in points.
Yeah.
It's just in the head-to-head matchup that decides who gets that top spot and who gets the second one.
Right now, both of them sitting pretty confidently up top there, I got to imagine, because they've had very good games. It's not like they're winning by, you know, 1 or 2 points, like I said earlier.
No. That's a lot. And
this has been a very interesting series for EU, very unpredictable compared to some of the other.
That's why it's been so exciting this season. It just throws out the whole old school, G2 are going to be on top the whole time.
Post-invitational as well with new operators, and that should shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. Though before we end the day, I will remind you of the teams that are so far awaiting their spots at 6 invitational qualifiers. North America, Space Station are awaiting the winner of Rise Nation and another team to be able to play against them. North America only has 1 spot for the invitational through the qualifiers, and well, Space Station are poised to try and take it. In the meantime, Team Liquid, well, they actually beat INTZ, which puts them in the last spot for qualifier. So Team Liquid can win 1 more game or lose 1 and then win another one. NIP currently leading against Black Dragons and might just have the victory, so we might be seeing an NIP versus Team Liquid grand final. Again, Latin America get 2 spots for the invitational, which means even if Liquid lose here, they'll have a chance in the loser bracket finals, where it's looking like INTZ might be the team to face in there. We'll go to Europe in the meantime, as Team Empire and LeStream, 2 winners from tonight, will be facing one another. And the winner goes to Invitational. The loser plays Team Vitality, who right now are on a massive roll.
Yeah.
And they are just demolishing everybody. This is a squad that really should have been doing this work, and I'm really happy that the change has been what is making the team so different.
Yeah.
And of course, for the entirety of APAC, that has already been done around a week ago, last weekend in Sydney, and we saw Mantis FPS, aka our Korean representative now for the APAC region, joining the likes of Norarengo and of course Fnatic at 6 Invitational to represent APAC in under a month. In under a month, we'll be a couple days away from finishing the entirety of 6 Invitational. So I cannot wait for that, though we're not done for the week. Tomorrow, EU Play-Day number 4 will be coming back, and let's look at the matches for a second. ENCE-G2, Penta versus Chaos, Market versus Empire, Secret versus LeStream. Always excitement in Europe.
Yeah, especially after these first 3 playdays.
All right, well, with all of this said, thank you very much for watching today, and from all of us here, we thank you for going through all of this with us. I know it's been tough going through the whole Super Month and the Super Weeks, but we feel you. And the more Siege, the better life gets. Thank you very much for watching. We love you. Good night.